This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, and especially at the moment, I do hope you're well. Now, as you know, if you've been watching these videos lately, I've been recently having a bit of a fool around with amp sims for, the first time, and having a pretty good time doing it, it has to be said. You already know about the Blue Cat Audio free amp that I've been having some fun with. Then last week I did, if you saw the video, a little bit of a first impressions of the Positive Grid Bias Amp 2. And of course, as soon as I mentioned that I bought Positive Grid Bias Amp 2, there were a whole host of people who said, "You didn't buy that, did you?" It's just human nature, that's what people do. Apparently I should have bought Bias FX 2. So I did. And what we're going to do today is compare those three side by side. The Blue Cat Audio free amp, the Bias amp and the Bias FX. Now, what I've done here is I've just thought, well, if you can't get a good core amp sound, then, you're on a hiding to nothing, really. So what I've done is I've gone for what is kind of my core sound, really, which is an old kind of Plexi, Marshall-y kind of tone. And I've set that up in all three of them. The only difference is that on the Blue Cat free amp, I've used an impulse response, just a free red wires IR that you can load into the Blue Cat plugin. But the two Positive Grid things, what I'm doing with those is I'm just using the inbuilt cab simulator, same speakers, same mic placement on both of those, and the same settings on the Plexi amp that's being simulated in both cases. So without further ado, let's have a listen to how all three of these sound on just a crunchy little rock riff that I recorded earlier. Sounds like this. Well, that was enlightening, wasn't it? Out of the three, I still think I prefer the Blue Cat free amp. It's just got the gruntiest, chunkiest, more Marshall-like sound for me. The Bias amp 2, I think, comes in a very close second. And the one that really surprised me was the Bias FX. Now, yes, I know that Bias FX isn't just really a kind of amp simulator. You can do tons more with it. You can have different amps in stereo and a whole gazillion load of other pedals and stuff. But, as I was saying earlier, you got to get that core amp sound nailed first before you start dressing it up in a fancy suit. And out of the three, I think the Bias FX, which was the same setting as the Plexi model in the Bias amp, let's not forget, same settings. The Bias FX version of the Plexi is the one that, out of the three, that I think I would, hand on heart, notice that there was, if I heard it in a mix even, I think I'd probably be able to think, yeah, it sounds like there's some digital shenanigans going on there. It's just got that sound to it, sort of more so than the others, I think, if at all in the others. The other thing that is, you know, something to watch out for in bias effects is that I don't have a particularly high spec PC, as you can see, but it is within the stated system requirements for bias effects. And bias effects does struggle a little bit on this machine. I can't, for instance, use it in a DAW in real time. I have to have the buffer size in the audio device settings. I have to have that ramped up to the point where there is just far too much latency when you're recording. You know, you can record without it, and then, you know, kind of switch the plug-in on, and then, you know, dial the buffer up so that it doesn't kind of stutter and kind of stumble. But in terms of using it in real time, I struggled. And as I say, my PC is within the stated system requirements for that software. Thing is, if you're just using it as a standalone on the desktop, it does work fine. It's seamless. It just, you know, it works exactly as it's supposed to. No latency or no noticeable latency when when you're playing. But as soon as you plumb it into Reaper, then dear me, it doesn't like that. And as I say, you know, if I'm going to use a standalone anyway, I think the core amp sounds in Bias Amp are just better by a country mile. And out of all three, for recording, I gotta tell you, I still like the Blue Cat Audio free amp. And then when I want a lead sound, I just throw the free Mercurial Tube Screamer VST in front of it. So I guess the moral of the story is that sometimes the best things in life genuinely are free. And with that, we'll wrap things up there for today, folks. Hope you found the video informative and useful. And if you have, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not give me a like while you're at it? I'll just mention again that if you're watching this, it's probably Thursday, which means that tomorrow is Friday. And you know what happens on a Friday, don't you? Beer happens on a Friday. That's the one. We have the regular 5 PM UK time live stream where it's just have a bit of a beer and a chat and a chinwag and a laugh, and it's great fun. It's a great way to kick off the weekend. Hope to see some of you there. And I'll just mention as well, as I'm sort of starting to do in all of these videos, that if you're thinking of pulling the trigger and buying yourself the rather wonderful Fret Zealot tuition device, but you're not quite there yet, you're not quite deciding that it's for you, then maybe this little discount code here will get you there. Just use the discount code you can see on screen and the link in the description to make your purchase, and you'll get a little bit of money knocked off. And what's not to like about that? And with that, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye for now.